What's up everybody, Zach here with Sew Yeah Quilting. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this star in a box quilt. Let's get started. Before we get into the actual assembly of this quilt, I want to just take 1 second and go over it. This is a very striking quilt, and I want to explain why that is. One, there's a piece of thread right there, which is obviously unacceptable. But in addition to that, what makes this quilt look so unique is the colors used in it. You have your orange and your yellow, which look like they are the foreground, and then you have your black and your white, which look like the background. Little tiny dive into color theory. Your brighter colors, if you're doing a two-dimensional image, brighter colors will appear closer and darker colors will appear further away. If you know that, you can create a lot of depth. This looks much deeper than it actually is. It's obviously two-dimensional. If we took this and we did the exact same block, but we used coordinating tones instead of the black and white in the background, it would be really pretty. It would probably be a little bit busier, and it would look more like everything is meshed together, as opposed to it looking like those stars are popping off the quilt. That's even with the design of this block, which is obviously made to look like the star is set on top of it. The other thing that makes this quilt really cool is this little guy right here. This is one of our applique clubs. Now, if you're not aware of what that is, we have 3 different applique clubs. There is a critter club, which he is a part of. There is a floral club, and there is a binding pals club. And it is a subscription service. It is a very minimal monthly fee, and for that you get several different appliques, ranging from simple to way too complex for what we charge for them. And it is just a great way to add a little pop of interest and fun to that special project you're working on. With all of that out of the way, let's get into the assembly of this quilt. Now, to start with for this project, as you'll see in the pattern, you're going to take a couple strips of fabric that are 1.5 inches by width of fabric. You're going to sew those together. From there, you will cut them down into 4.5 inch wide rectangles. And we've got a little 2.5 inch square right here. I'm going to mark a little line down the center. And then we're going to put that on to our little strips right here, right sides together. And I'm going to sew down that line directly onto my strips. All right, with that there, we're going to cut this excess off, and then we're going to do the exact same thing to the other side. So there you go. You're going to, let me wait for Ian to stop stepping on stuff.
Thank you.
So there is the beginning of our quilt block, and this is going to make this little piece right here. When I actually held this up here, I had paused for a second. I had to make sure that I had the piece in the right spot, because with this one that we're using, we're not doing the contrasting colors like the black and white in the background, and it honestly threw me off for a second. Like, wait, was that the right orientation? It is. Just again, it kind of shows you how much variety you can have with the same pattern. What you will need to do, as you can see here, is you need to use 2 alternating colors of fabric for these outside pieces. This one, in this case, has orange. That's going to match up with the center of the block right here. This piece here, these yellow tabs, are going to match up with the yellow piece right there. So keep that in mind as you're laying this out. For the next step, you're going to take a couple 5.5 inch squares. I've got my 2 here. I'm going to lay them down, and I'm going to mark a diagonal line from one side to the other. Then we're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam on each side of that line we just made. Now that we have those sewn together, I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to put it corner to corner and cut this thing in half. And that will then give us lovely half square triangles. I'm going to get these pressed and then we'll move to the next step. Now that I have these 2 pieces, what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay the one piece down here, and I'm going to lay the other piece so that opposite colors are together. I'm just going to nest my seam in there nicely. From that corner to this corner, I'm going to mark a new line, and I'm going to do the exact same thing I just did. We're going to do the exact same thing yet again and cut this in half right in between those seams we just sewed. And when you do this, that is going to give you a 1/4 square triangle. Now we'll press these ones out. So So now this makes the center portion of our block. We're gonna lay this down and just line up color to color. And there you go. Now we're gonna make our little corner pieces, which you can see right here. We're going to need what is referred to as Unit 2 in the pattern. As I showed you at the beginning, you're gonna take your 2 long strips, sew those together, and then subcut them down into a whole bunch of little pieces. And I have one of those pieces right here. Now, the fabric here's my Unit 2. Got a black and a white in this case. This needs to be the same color as the piece we're about to sew on. So I've got white here that was sewn on to my little Unit 2 there. The good part though is that they don't have to be, they're not directional. It's the same step for all of them, and then you just rotate it around to fill in the different corners. I'm gonna take my fabric, put it on top, and we'll get this sewn together. And there you go. Now I'll take these pieces and use them to fill in the rest of my block. Now, your block should look like this. This is a moment to just stop, make sure everything's in order. You've got your little triangles here, or your color here matched to your color here. These ones, we want this outside border. You can see this purple here. We want that running all the way around the edge. It always pays off to just pause for 1 second. Make sure you have everything laid out the way that it's supposed to be. It will save you in the end, as opposed to getting your beautiful quilt finished and then realize that you have this piece turned the wrong direction. Now, I'm supposed to pause this video because our wonderful cameraman, Ian, has asked that I read a special announcement. Real quick, before we move on, I have a favor to ask of you. It's free and will really help. I need you to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and if you can, share with a friend. That lets YouTube push our content to more quilters, which helps our team so we can make better content for you. Now back to the quilt.
Okay.
Let's get this block sewn together. I'm gonna get my rows here. I'm gonna sew on my rows first and then sew them all together. And there you go, our block is done, and it looks totally different than the one behind me, which is something I really like about quilting, is you can take the same pattern and even the same fabrics, and depending on how you rearrange things, you can come up with something that is really customized and perfect for either you or the person you're giving it to. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a like, and you know all the rest. Pattern again is free down in the description below, as well as a link to all the products used in this video. My name is Zach, teaching you to sew like a pro, and we'll see you next time here at Sew Yeah Quilting.